Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about a topic that what is affinity diagram. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management or brainstorming. So let's just start, friend. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my new videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. So what is affinity diagram? Friend, affinity diagram, also called as affinity chart, affinity mapping, or KJ method, or thematic analysis as well. The affinity diagram organizes a large number of ideas into their natural relationships. It is the organized output from a brainstorming session. Use it to generate, organize, and consolidate information related to a product, process, complex issue, or problem. After generating ideas, group them according to their affinity or similarity. This idea creation method taps a team's creativity and intuition. It was created in 1960s by Japanese person Jiro Kawakita. So when to use the affinity diagram? When you are confronted with many facts or ideas in apparent chaos, when issues seem too large and complex to grasp, when group consensus is necessary. Now, the typical situations are after a brainstorming exercise, when analyzing verbal data such as survey results, when collecting and organizing large data sets, when developing relationships or themes among ideas, when reducing attributes to categories that can be addressed at a higher level. An affinity diagram is the organized output from a brainstorming session. It is one of the 7 management tools for planning. The diagram was created in 1960s by Kawakita Jiro and is also known as the KJ method as well. The purpose of affinity diagram is to generate, organize, and consolidate information concerning a product, process, complex issue, or problem. Constructing an affinity diagram is a creative process that expresses ideas without quantifying them. The affinity diagram helps a group to develop its own system of thought about a complex issue or problem. A group can use an affinity diagram at any stage where it needs to generate and organize a large amount of information. For example, members of a leadership team may use the diagram during strategic planning to organize their thoughts and ideas. Alternatively, an improvement team can use the diagram to analyze the common causes of variation in its project. The diagram is flexible in its application and is easy to use. When is it used? Use an affinity diagram when you can answer yes to all of these questions. Is the problem or issue complex and hard to understand? If the problem or issue is relatively simple or easy to understand, a cause and effect diagram may be more appropriate. Is the problem uncertain, disorganized, or overwhelming? Complex issues often feel overwhelming due to their size. Does the problem require the involvement and support of a group? The process a group goes through to make an affinity diagram helps the group develop its own system of thought concerning the problem and builds consensus among the members. Getting the most. Choose a facilitator. The facilitator is responsible for leading the group through the steps to make the affinity diagram. It is beneficial to have a facilitator experienced in making affinity diagrams. State the issue or problem. Before beginning, the group should state the issue or problem to be addressed. It is often useful to state the problem in the form of a question. In the example, the question is what are the problems associated with our expansion into retail outlets? It is essential that the group understands the aim of the session. Brainstorm and record ideas. Next, brainstorm ideas concerning the issue statement. Brainstorming for ideas to make an affinity diagram uses a mixture of traditional brainstorming and the Crawford slip method. In traditional brainstorming, individuals generate ideas which they voice to turn. Ideas are given by each person in the group until no one has anything else to add. Affinity diagrams are a great method to help you make sense of all your information when you have a lot of mixed data such as facts, research, ideas from brainstorms, user opinions, user needs, insights, and design issues. Affinity diagram or clustering exercises are all about bundling and grouping information, and this method can be one of the most valuable methods to employ. Now, why? The affinity diagram is a method which can help you gather a large amount of data and organize them into groups or themes based on their relationships. The affinity process is great for grouping data gathered during research or ideas generated during brainstorms. The method is also called as a space, saturate, and group. The term saturate relates to the method in which everyone covers or saturates the space with images and notes in order to create a wall of information to inform and start grouping the following problem defining process. You then draw connections between these individual elements to join the dots and develop new deeper insights. They will help define the problems and develop potential ideas for solutions. In other words, you can go from analysis to synthesis. Now, best practices. Put pieces of data, small documented facts, drawings, ideas, and observations onto post-it notes, cards, or pieces of paper and put them up on the imagery of walls filled with post-it notes comes from. The sticky notes allow the design team to easily stick up and move pieces of data around in order to create clusters of similar themes, groups, and patterns. Take one post-it and make it the first post-it in the first group. Take the next post-it and ask, is this similar to the first one or is it different? Then you will place it in the first group or onto its own group. You continue post-it by post-it as you place similar ideas together and create new groups when ideas do not fit into an existing cluster. You should now have 3 to 10 groups, so it's time to talk about the best elements of those clusters. Name the clusters to help you create an information structure and discover themes. Rank the most important clusters over less important clusters. Be aware which values, motives, and priorities you use as a foundation ideas before you start ranking. Is this your users' priorities, your company's, the market's, the stakeholder, or your own? Which one should you put most emphasis on? Sometimes it makes sense to create connections with other clusters using lines or other devices between individual bits of data or clusters of data. Describe what you have synthesized. For example, insights, user needs, pain points, or look for gaps you haven't addressed yet. Focus on translating what you have organized and understood into practice rather than just identifying similar ideas. Affinity diagrams can help you go from complete chaos and no overview of your information to creating groups of information which you have named and organized into hierarchies that make sense. Affinity diagram can help you bundle and cluster large bodies of information, facts, research ideas from brainstorms, user opinions, user needs, insights, design issues, etc. This method will help you name, rank, and understand relations between groups of information. For this reason, this method is also known as space, saturate, and group. This is a great method which can, if you follow the step-by-step process which we have described, surprisingly and straightforwardly create an overview and synthesize your findings. It's important that you remember to sum up the major insights, user needs, pain points, gaps, etc. Once you have done that, you can focus on translating what you have organized and understood and put it into practice. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video. Thank you, friends.